today. This is an open letter to RanCam Campbell and to Biblethumpingwingnut or Tim, and I just want to read a few scriptures. It says, "Yet it pleased the Lord to bruise him, he put him to grief. When he shall make his soul an offering for sin, he shall see his seed, and he shall prolong his days, and the pleasure of the Lord shall prosper." It says in verse 4, "Surely he has borne our griefs and carried our sorrows, yet we did esteem him stricken, smitten of God, and afflicted. But he was wounded for our transgressions, he was bruised for our iniquities. The chastisement of our peace was upon him, and with his stripes we are healed." Then if we look to Philippians, it says in chapter 1, "I thank my God upon every remembrance of you, always in every prayer of mine for you, all making requests with joy for your fellowship in the gospel from the first day until now, being confident of this very thing, that he which had begun a good work in you will perform it until the day of Jesus Christ." Fellowship in the gospel, verse 5. This is an open letter. There's so much I wanted to say. I could not make this video, and that would show that I just don't care. Because I care about the gospel. I care about the proclamation of the gospel, and also care about you guys. And I'm just making this to you guys. But whatever I'm going to say, I just want to say to Tim that if you need me, I'm here. If you need me, Ran, I'm here. I've not got much to offer you both, but I'm here if you want me as a friend. That goes without saying. I remember a few years ago being on a Google Hangout. There was me, RanCam Campbell, Raw, and Tim, and Iron Cross, and I was only on a few times, but it was a great joy, and there seemed to be a real happy atmosphere. And it really saddens me to see things deteriorated the way things have recently. Made a few videos to try and keep the peace, trying to keep you all together. I made a video on humility. If you go on Lollard Preachers and look at that video, I've made a few videos on either side just to try and help each other to be united. And like I said, I'm just sad that things have deteriorated to the way things have recently. I'm not going to go into the ins and outs of specifics, because if I love you, I will not do that. It's only someone who doesn't love you and wants to make a name for themselves that would do that kind of thing. What I will say is that Christ took the wrath that you and I deserved, and that he was punished for our sin, and that at the cross we're forgiven if we repent and believe in him. And our lives, whichever camp you're in or wherever you're at, our lives are to be poured out for the glory of God. It's about Christ's glory, it's about his honour, it's about lifting him, it's about magnifying him, bringing him glory, both in thought, word and deed. And I just want to say to you guys that to keep your mind focused on that, to keep your mind focused on the cross, to keep your mind focused on Christ, to keep your mind where you're bringing glory to Him. And I would encourage you to, under the cross, to love each other and to encourage each other and to build each other up. I know that if you feel betrayed, if someone publishes something privately and you feel betrayed, you get bitter and angry. You still got to love and forgive. I know that if you feel another brother says things unwisely, that you want to correct them, but you have to do it in a way where you look up to them and willing to love them and to care for them, and to do it truly as a friend, where you really truly love them, to go about it softly and gently. If a person names the name of Christ, whether they go to church or not, they are a child of God, they are a Christian. I just want to say that I go to church, I am in a fellowship, and but as a pastor in the past, I know that it's important to encourage people to go to church, to be part of the body. But I also know, being out of church for a while, being in exile and struggling with depression and various other issues, I know that some people don't go to church for whatever reason, and there's many people outside the church because they feel let down by the church. Some go because they're just rebellious, don't go because they're rebellious, but many don't go because they've been hurt by the church and they see Phariseeism. And so be careful not to judge people just because they don't go to a church. You should try and shepherd them, encourage them and help them and comfort them and draw them, if they'll be drawn, into fellowship with the Lord's people, to walk in humility and love and care. I also want to say that the Calvinistic culture, not all of it, but a lot of it, can be very pharisaical. So be very careful that anything that you say is really truly done because of love. And at the end of the day, it's not about your ministries. It's not about watching your own back. It's about glorifying Christ and loving each other. And if there isn't any trust there, if there isn't any love, then what kind of ministry have we got? It's very difficult on the internet. It's hard to build relationships over the internet. It's very hard to build trust over the internet. It's different if you can meet in a cafe and have a chat, but over the internet it's very difficult. But we have to try and build community. We have to try and build friendships, support each other, encourage each other, and be there for each other as Christians, even though it's difficult on the internet. Nobody's better than anybody else. So it takes hard work, it takes prayer, and I would just say, don't give up on each other. Ran, don't give up on Tim, and Tim, don't give up on Ran. Pray about what each have done and said. And everybody involved in this, on all sides, pray about it, think about it, and come back to each other with the mind of Christ. Try and work these things through, because we're set for the defense of the gospel. The world's looking on, And if we see each other disunited, it weakens the proclamation of the gospel. And I know that from your perspective, Tim, you think you're putting error right and it doesn't matter so long as you're doing that. Well, I think that you're wrong if you are judging another brother and are not treating him as a brother. And I say the same to Ran. If Tim is not acting like a brother as you feel, you still got to treat him like a brother. Love is not an option. Okay? Love is not an option. It's a command. It's a command, Tim. And it's a command, right? It's a command to all the people on your side, Ran, and it's a command on all the side of Tim. And don't start preaching to me, well, it's love without truth, and I know all that. Truth is important, absolutely central. But make sure your truth has big, big, big dollops of love. Because if it hasn't got love, you've got nothing. Back to the cross. On all my